Hi, this is Sarah Witow, and I'm here to tell you how I used Flipgrid to differentiate the product for my kindergarten students. So, Flipgrid is a page that allows you to create a grid, which is kind of like your home page. So, mine here is titled Kindergarten. Now, on your grid, you can create topics and questions for your students. So we're learning about our five senses. And I was thinking that I would use this Flipgrid to do a check-in with my students before our mid-module assessment. So that way I could see where my students were, where they're at using the vocabulary, and how comfortable they are with their five senses. So with Flipgrid, you can create your own. So that's what I did here. And I'm asking my students to identify their five senses and the body parts associated with those senses. Then I'm asking them to choose one sense that interests them and explain how they use it. I gave my students the option to point to their body to explain their senses, or if they're not comfortable being in front of the camera, they can also draw and explain what they drew on their paper to show their senses. So something that I thought was pretty awesome about Flipgrid was that I can have Flipgrid read it for my students by pressing the immersive reader button.
Identify your five senses and the body parts.
So that would be great for my kindergarten students that wouldn't be able to read the question on their own. I've also created a word bank here for some of my students that later on in the year or some of my higher students would be able to see and recognize these words based on the beginning letters and sounds. So they could use the word bank to help them think and remember. I also was able to include a five senses song that plays right here on this page for my students. Just to get them thinking about the five senses before they have to complete the activity on their own. So after they do this, they create their video, and I had a little help here with my son. Okay, so today I'm going to tell you about our five senses. Stand up tall. We have our sense of smell, and we use our nose, our sense of taste, and we use our mouth, our sense of sight. So I just did that as a practice, and I could possibly show this video to my students as an example of what their Flipgrid might look like. So, and another awesome thing, when you use Flipgrid, the students don't have to have an account. You can either post a code or you can post a link right in Google Classroom for those students to use, which would be awesome because the easier it is to sign on, the better. Let's see. You can create your own Flipgrid and put it on your home page, but you can also use something called the Disco Library, which allows you to search for different topics. There's so many different things here. And so when I searched for five senses, I was able to find a bunch of activities, and it gives you the audience, so you can find things for your students. And you can go ahead, and if you like them, you can easily add them to your Flipgrid. This one's already added to mine, so that's why that's grayed out. But that way, if you have a student that finishes early, maybe they would go ahead and complete a second one. Or why work harder when you can work smarter? Find something that is already done on there for you. Let's see, differentiating. I made the word bank one here for my students to use. And let's see. Oh, student interest. They love seeing themselves, but if they didn't, they could draw the picture as well. So I think there's a lot of opportunities to use Flipgrid in the classroom with our students of all ages, and I can't wait to try it out. Thank you.